Everybody, it's Lastest. It's Sunday night, but it's not comic time because comics are no more as of, I don't know, last week. We're supposed to be getting comics in maybe in a month, maybe in 2 months, maybe never, ever again. We don't know. But we have a special episode tonight. We're talking about He-Man and the Master of the Universe. So this little toy rewind. We did this with G.I. Joe. We talked about toys we had when we were a kid. We picked our top 10, and we're going a little deeper into it. We have another toy line we're looking at, and of course, it's He-Man. And of course, we have Pocan Joe here's with us every Sunday night. We got Ramfisto Man, Mr. Mike, coming in tonight on the special He-Man episode, as well as Trentor, who has Jeremy. You haven't been on for quite some time. You've been kind of off the YouTube circuit, but I'm glad you're able to come back in and join and have fun with us tonight. So, before we get started, yes, Mike, Ramfisto Man, yes.
Yeah. Am I the master of your universe?
You are the master of my universe. You're the center of my world, Mike. Before we get started on the episode, let's talk about the T-shirts. Of course, you can go to Teespring, get a Blasted Attached T-shirt like this one here, the technical difficulties, or you can get the You've Been Thunderlust. Like if you've ever read that Wonder Twins, you know what that's all about. Or the True is wrong about Ekman. Prove you changed my mind for a little Pocan Joe. We do have a Patreon too right now. I kind of suspended it because I don't know what's going on, but we'll probably start it back up again here pretty soon. But we're going to go ahead and jump into He-Man and Master of the Universe. So we're going to go through the toy line. We're going to talk about some values, our favorite ones. We're going to talk about comics. We're going to talk about the media, the TV and movies, and then wrap it up. So let's go ahead and get rolling on it. I think it pop up. Oh, there it is. So Master Universe came out in 1982, which that made me 6 years old, I think, when that came out. Yeah, because that was 76. So first set was at the 8-pack. So you had He-Man, you had Man-at-Arms, you had Stratos, you had Teela, Beastman, Merman, Skeletor, and Zodiac. I know I had
Kodak.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zodak. Sorry, I said Zodiac. Maybe I had the Zodiac Killer on my mind. Who knows?
You can't cruise out of this.
I think I had I don't think I had Zodak. Did you have all of those, Mike?
I had all of those except Teela.
I think my brother had Teela. How about you, Jeremy? Do you have any of those? The first wave?
I remember having He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Skeletor, and Beastman. I'm pretty sure I have Merman too. I don't think I have Teela or Stratos or the Zodiac Killer there.
So,
yeah, okay. How about you, Joe? Which ones do you have of that first line?
I had He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Stratos, Beastman, Merman, Skeletor, and Zodak. Yeah, I had Zodak.
Zodiac too.
Now you got Zodiac in my head. Thanks. They didn't last long, but I had them.
Yeah, do you ever watch a documentary on Netflix, the Toys That Made Us? They talked about this line here, and they talked about coming up with the names. And they originally had Merman's name as Seaman, but they had to change it because, they talked about, like, wait a minute, we know what we're doing here. So they ended up changing it to Merman.
And another interesting thing, Zodak was originally supposed to be a villain. It even says there in the 8-pack, but later he became kind of this neutral party, as we've seen in the comic books and everything. He's not really good or bad. He's kind of like a watcher type character. So I thought they would just they ended up making another type of character like him named Zotar, who was a villain, and where he started swinging more to the side of justice. The other one, and the whole Starseed episode of He-Man, they kind of broke that out, which was pretty cool.
What about swinging? What were you going to say, Mike?
He's only in like one episode of the cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
The Starseed episode.
So that was the original 8 right there in 1982. 1983, we had another, looks like 7 characters added on. We had Manny Faces, Mechanic, Ram Man, Evil Lynn, The Faker, Trapjaw, and Triclops. I always thought Trapjaw was one of the original ones that came out, and Evil Lynn, but I guess not. So I think we had Ram Man. I'm trying to remember my brother and I both had them. Like he would get one and I get the other, and I forgot which one got which, but I know which ones we had. I know we had Ram Man. I know we had Trapjaw. I don't think we had maybe Triclops, but I don't remember any more of those there. How about you, Jeremy? Which one do you have on that second series?
Oh, I want to say I had Ram Man. It's hard to remember because I was born in '80, so a lot of these were like I had to get secondhand or whatever, like from secondhand stores. But I remember me and my cousin both. Like you remember when they came out with which you're probably going to talk about this, and I might be going to ruin this, but you remember when they had the Castle Grayskull set and the and you could like put all your toys in there?
Yeah.
Well, me and my cousin that I played with, like he was like my brother. We played like every single day. Like we still like best friends. He had all the bad guys, and I had all the good guys, and we would like go. We'd go to each other's house. We would take the set and we would set them up, and like he would be the bad guys and I would be the good guys, and we would fight. So I remember these toys, but I don't remember having them. I remember playing with them because he had them. So like I remember he had Evil Lyn and Trapjaw for sure. And I'm not sure about Triclops, and I didn't know Faker was a thing. So
yeah, how about you, Mike? What? Sorry, not Mike. Joe.
I had two Ram Mans because I'd make them hit each other. It was funny. I had Manny Faces, Trapjaw, Evil Lyn, because I swear to God that was like a knockoff of Elvira at the time, and Trapjaw and Triclops. I thought Mech and Neck. I thought that was a stupid concept, so I didn't bother with it.
Was Ram Man? Did you push him down and hit a button to make him spring up, or do you?
Yeah, it was down by his right heel. It had that little lever, and it would.
Oh, okay.
One of the worst figure designs ever. The arms didn't move, just. But I had them.
It's like a butt plug, Mike. What about you, Mike? What'd you have on this series here?
I actually only had two: the Ram Man and the Many Faces. I don't remember owning the other five. But Trapjaw is one of my favorite characters. So.
Then 1984 came along, and they started the battle armor ones where you hit the center and it would flip like it had damage. So we have battle armor, He-Man, Buzz-Off, Fisto, Orko, Prince Adam, and then the Evil Warriors. They had battle armor Skeletor, Clawful, Jitsu, which is not racist at all, Cobra Khan, Webstore, and Whiplash. What about you, Joe, from this series? Do you remember any of these you had?
I had Fisto because he had the automatic arm. It's the same concept.
Bring back. Yeah.
Yeah. I had Buzz Off because I thought that was a cool character with his little claws. Prince Adam was gay. Battle armor. I think I had the Skeletor one. I didn't have the He-Man one. I didn't have that Orko. I had the one where you put the little thing into it and it would move. So that must have been a later one. Had Whiplash. Let's see who else on there did I have. Oh, the Spitting Lizard one too. Lizard dude.
Cobra Khan.
Yeah, I had Cobra Khan. And who else did I have on there? I think that's it. Oh, Clawful. I had Clawful too.
Mike, how about you on this series, third series?
So a lot of my top 10 is right here. Buzz-Off is like my only hero character I dug. So, and if you scroll down a little bit, we got Clawful there, Whiplash, who reminded me of an alligator, Webster, not the little black kid, the
oh Lord.
The spider-looking guy.
Demonetized.
Funny story. Clawful doesn't look like that in the cartoon. He has two small claws.
Yeah.
But in the action figure, he has that oversized one. And yeah.
So do I.
What about you, Jeremy?
I don't remember having battle armor He-Man. I'm pretty sure I had Fisto and Prince Adam.
Oh, and you had the Fisto.
I'm like Joe. I had the Orko where you shot the thing and it just, yeah. But Orko was always one of my favorite characters on there.
Yeah, and I had Prince Adam. I know I had Orko, the Zip one. Buzz Off was one. There were so many things in the 80s of toys that had like the battle damage, like armor and stuff. I know I had toys with them. I don't remember if I had the He-Man. It might have been a different figure or whatever. They had some kind of battle damage.
Hot Wheels came out with the same thing where the damage would be on the car and it would flip. Yeah.
And I don't remember any of these villains ever having any of them. Then 1985 came out. We had Mossman, we had Roboto, Cyclone, Thunder Punch, He-Man, Dragon Blast, and Skeletor, Spike-Or, Stink-Or, Too Bad, and then the Evil Horde came in with Grizzlor, Hordak, Leech, Mantena, and Modulok. Okay, we'll start with you, Mike. What about from the series from 1985? Which one did you have?
I had Mossman, and for some reason, I remember as a kid, I used to scrape the felt off him with my teeth. I don't know why.
Wow.
That explains a lot, man.
I remember having Stink-Or right here. I got the Funko Pop of Stink-Or. Probably my most expensive pop in my collection, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
One of the two, yep. I had Leech. I had Modulok. So here's the thing about the Evil Horde and She-Ra. There's a lot of great characters in that. And I'm in love with Masters of the Universe. I've loved the cartoon. But She-Ra and the Princess of Power or whatever the fuck is a better story than He-Man is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you ever watch She-Ra?
No, I never did.
Yeah, I got tired of watching the dude with the hurt on his chest.
She-Ra actually starts off evil because Hordak kidnaps her as a baby. Hordak is Skeletor's apprentice. And Hordak kidnaps her as a baby from Eternia and raises her to be evil. And
what about you, Jeremy, from this series? What did you have out of here?
I think I had Mossman. I definitely had Roboto because isn't he the one you could like do the thing and it would make sparks fly in his chest cavity? Like,
yes,
I thought so. And fun fact: Spike-Or is the reason that He-Man right there has that Thunder Punch. He-Man, Spike-Or hit the punch and spiked it, so that's how we got Thunder Punch. He-Man. That's when he drunk the punch and got drunk.
Drink a little
Thunder Punch. I don't remember any of the. I'm pretty sure I had some more. It's been so long ago. It's like a cross between the Predator and Dracula, though.
What about you, Joe, from this series? Do you have any of these?
Yeah, I had a couple of them. I had Leech. I had Too Bad. I had, what was it? Roboto, Mossman. I had Antenna, but his eyes didn't last too long. As far as the other ones that I had, I'm pretty sure, I had Mossman, Roboto, Stink-Or, Too Bad, Leech, Antenna, and whatever you want to call that little four-legged thing.
Yeah, I don't know what I call him either.
Modulok.
Yeah, I know I had Mossman. I know I had Stink-Or. Didn't Stink-Or have a smell too? Didn't he? The package, yeah. And I had Mantena. Those are the three that I know that we had out of that.
Modulok, you could actually take that figure all apart. The arms and all the legs would come off, the two heads.
And you could switch them around. Yeah,
you could switch them around.
Can you use them in that bedbug game as a kid? You're trying to build your little bedbug. You get, or is it ants or whatever.
What you do in your personal life does not.
What was that game called? You rolled the dice, something, you got the pizza, the bug, and you got to build Cooties. That's what it was. Cooties.
Never had Cooties.
Never. No.
It was at one time in Baltimore.
No, I got my circle, dot. I'm good.
Okay, 1986. I don't think I had any of the ones out of here. So we had Extendar, Flying Fist He-Man, Real Blast, Rock On, Snout Spout, Stone Dar, and then we had Terraclaw, Skeletor, and then Dragstore, Horde Trooper, Hurricane Horek, Multibot, King Hiss, Rattler, and Tongue Lasher. Oh my God, Tongue Lasher. Okay. Yes. Mike.
So here's the point where they started running out of ideas.
Yeah.
And the figures just got crap.
And they started copying Transformers.
Yeah, I think most people who were playing with these toys back then stopped before this, because I don't remember having any of these. I always thought Snout Spout had a cool character with the elephant armor mask, but
I know Tila liked him.
Why did she like him, Dave?
He had big biceps. What about you, Jeremy?
Big bicep.
I don't remember having any of them either.
Yeah.
It's
like the design kind of changed a little bit too, from the regular mold from the He-Man like this. How about you, Joe? Any of the from
I had a couple. I had Rio Blast because I kind of like the whole space cowboy thing. I had one of those rock people that could transform into a rock. I had Multibot and who else? Oh, Snout Spout. I had Snout Spout too because that was just funny to me.
Didn't he squirt water too?
Yeah, had a little. Yeah.
And then King Hiss. They were inside each other. Is that what it was? Like they had a snake body inside. Is that what the King Hiss was?
Yeah.
I don't know what they're showing here. But, 1987 brings on new characters. We got the Burger King right here, Clamp Champ, Road Car, Sorceress. I'm surprised Sorceress wasn't out sooner, really.
I remember having a Sorceress before 1987.
That's what I was going to say. I think we had.
Sworn I had one because I made her and Evil Lynn fight each other, but I could be wrong.
Blast Attack, Faker, Ninjor, Scareglow, and Twistoid. And then some more of the Horde here. Mosquitor, Buzzsaw Horek, Snakeface, and
I remember,
Squeeze.
Mosquitor was a cool character. He had the blood in his chest.
Mm-hmm.
And you would like press it and you could see the blood move.
Oh, really? I don't remember any of these characters at all. So
I had Rotor and Twistor because you could make them fight. They had the little zippy thing and they could crash into each other.
I used to be obsessed with ninjas, so I'm pretty sure I had Ninjor. And for some reason, I remember having Twistoid too, or Twistor, or whatever his name is. Twistoid. Mm-hmm.
And then we go down here, then 1987. So then we have, that's the same time as a live action movie with Dolph Lundgren. We got Blade, we got Gwildor, we got Sorod. Those are characters from, I guess, just from the movie themselves. 88 Heroic Warriors. This is getting really crazy. Lazy Power. Laser Power, He-Man. Titus. And then we have Laser Light, Skeletor, and Megator. So I have no clue to those characters at all.
Yeah.
Check this out, Mike. They need to make Masters of the Universe movie pops with Gwildor with the KFC chicken.
that would be the chase.
Yeah.
Now, I know that once this series ended, they had another series later on down the road. I don't have that because we got past that point where we weren't collecting these anymore, so we wouldn't really buy any of those. We are going to talk a little bit about the price of what some of the value is on some of these toys now, too. I looked it up. I got a hold of my dad, and I said, why didn't you buy me two of these? Why didn't you buy me two? One to play with and one to keep. Why? He's like, I didn't know that.
That Rio Blaster character, like that's just stupid. How much that thing's worth today?
So this is from Toy Worth. It's an online toy price garden and toy archive. Of course, too, with anything like this, it's going to be what somebody's willing to pay. I mean, you could put $3,000 on it, doesn't mean it's going to sell. But still, this is what they say that they're going worth, just like anything with comic books, So the 8-pack, that was the original 8 characters. For a package, Beastman looking around $650. He-Man, $2,450. Holy crap! I couldn't believe that was that much. Man at Arms, $650. Merman, $800. Skeletor, $1,800. Stratos, $700.
You fool!
Yeah. I knew Jeremy was going to do that sometime this episode. Tila around $1,000. Zodak, $675. And of course, then it goes down to some of the other characters, some of that, the Battle Cat, the Battle Ram. There's Castle Grayskull right there. I know Jeremy said that you had your cousin had it. Did anybody else have Castle Grayskull?
I
had Castle Grayskull. My cousin had the Skeletors.
Snake Mountain.
Yeah, I had Snake Mountain. I loved Snake Mountain.
Yeah, so I never had it anyways. But Mike, you said you had Castle Grayskull?
Yes.
What happened to it?
What happened to it? I played with it.
Well, yeah, I got that. But did you just end up giving it away or selling it? Your mom throwing it out? What?
Who the fuck knows, man? My mom has pictures of me. I played with that thing with everything. G.I. Joes were storming Castle Grayskull.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. I couldn't tell you what happened to it, but
yeah, I know exactly what happened with my Snake Mountain.
That's exactly what happened in your Snake Mountain. You play with.
I know exactly what happened to my Snake Mountain. All right, so G.I. Joe had a very exclusive mission, and Firefly jacked up the whole entire mission by setting it on fire.
Call for a G.I. Joe episode. How about you, Jeremy? You had your Grayskull. What did you do with yours?
I have no idea. I don't remember what happened to it. I'm just sitting there trying to think. I guess it got broken after I quit playing with it. My mom threw it out or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, even these characters, I don't know what happened to these characters. I had the action figures themselves when I was a kid. We must have given them away or something. I have no clue. I know what happened to my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I don't know what happened to my.
I don't even know what happened to my Ninja Turtles. They were my second favorite. So.
I sold all mine in a yard sale. I kick myself in the ass all the time for doing it. So yeah, and then here's the 12 backs one, the second series that came out. And their prices here too. So if you want to go down and look at all the prices of what these things are going for.
12 backs though.
Why did it say 12 back?
Yeah, why does he have 12 backs? I mean,
no, he didn't have 12 backs. Maybe he's worked his traps out a lot. I don't know, because he was pretty.
I just figured it was like one for all of his friends to stab.
Maybe. So yeah, that's the prices. Go check out toys.com. If you want to look at your prices, see what you have in your collection right there. Cardstock variant says, "Wow, those appreciate better than most comics." Yeah, right. I'm in the wrong.
See, I don't think that list was accurate, Joe. That list, that website was showing all the years they came out because they never once showed Battle Cat in any of the series.
Are you talking about the one we're talking about by series? I didn't have any vehicles.
Yeah, the vehicles are pets. Yeah, that was just the figures.
But Battle Cat seemed like he would be one of the figures, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like he would be. You take the stuff off of him, and I always called him Cringer when he didn't have the stuff on. And I would have Prince Adam writing then, and then whenever he turned into I have the power, put the stuff back on him, and he would.
Yeah, I was trying to see if they had the list of. See, that was just through. I think it's Master Universe portal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was just that. So I'm sure there's probably other websites out there that has, what year those vehicles came out. I guess you call it Cringer or Battle Cat a vehicle when he would come out, what series he would have came out with. So to go along, of course, with the toy line, the comic books. I mean, that's how they told their backstory. There was quite a few other toy lines that did that in the 80s. G.I. Joe kind of did it with their cards on the back, explaining who the character was, what their strengths were, what. I don't know. Joe knows more about that stuff than I do with the G.I. Joes. there were quite a few. Do you think of other toys that came out with comic books with them?
Oh, there was tons of them. The Insectoids did.
Sectoid?
Sector.
Silverhawks did. Voltron did. Zoids. You all remember Zoids? You wind them up and they were
Wind 'em up.
robotic. Yeah, they
Remember
did
those.
it. Mask had its own comic book with certain sets.
Did
Yeah,
Thundercats
yeah.
ever do it?
Thundercats did it too.
That's what I thought.
So that was probably a great way. I mean, they're going to try to tie it in with the cartoon. They want people to know the backstory because they want to get invested. If they get invested with the cartoon and the comic, they're going to get invested with the toys. They're going to spend more money. It's one big machine to help sell stuff. So 1981 to 83 was the original mini comics that came out that Mattel had created with the characters, and they had some that were specific to each character. So Ram-Man had his, Merman had his. There were total like 39 issues of those little mini comics that Mattel had put out. And those run about $5 a piece. If you go through, I went through comicbookrealm.com, look at the price. That's like a 9.4. Then Mattel hired DC to put out some mini comics as well. They had 11 issues of the DC mini comics. Those run about $14 a piece. And then there's also a 3-issue miniseries. Mike had one of them earlier that DC had, which was, I didn't even know DC made Marvel comics, or not. I'm sorry, Master of the Universe comics before Marvel. I know they do now. But
You did know that because DC had the crossover with Superman.
Yeah.
Injustice. Now, yeah.
No. Back in the day, in the 80s, they had a crossover event where Superman, the first time Superman and He-Man met each other.
Yeah, it's. I think it's considered one of the first comic
crossovers.
When I was doing all the research, I did not find that in any of my research. So,
I got the copy. I should have brought the copy. I have the copy. That's Superman flying in front of Castle Grayskull. He's about to punch He-Man. Like the cover is iconic.
But of those DC series that Mike was showing right there, number one, I said a 9.4 is running about $28, and then number 2 and number 3 about $15 a piece for those. And then, of course, I think what most of us know for He-Man is the Marvel series under the Star banner that came out in 1986, 87. There were a total of 13 issues on that one. Mike has that one there. I actually gave him that one. I sent it off to him. And
he's such a nice guy. This is actually not the first appearance of He-Man at Marvel.
No. He's not. I'm getting to that. Marvel Age number 38. He was on the cover of that,
which I have also, but it's upstairs. So
which is this one right here. That's Marvel Age 38 right there. That's his first appearance in Marvel. That, according to Comic Book Realm, that says it's only $5, but I see it sell for more than that, definitely on eBay. So, what's showing there, Mike or Jeremy?
Yeah, so check it out. It's Superman versus He-Man. It's a 2-pack comic book. It was originally the first one.
I can't get it to focus, but
yeah, he's pretty blown out.
I'm sorry, it's actually DC Comic Presents number 47.
Yeah, DC Comic
1982.
Okay, I'll look that up. So yeah, his first Marvel appearance was on that Marvel Age 38. Mike showed the DC title there. There's the Marvel one here that had 13 issues total. Number 1's running about $25. Number 12 is running 12 and 13 are running $45 a piece. The only thing I can figure is maybe it's a low print run.
Low print.
Yeah. Because there's definitely, that's $20 more than what number 1's going for, which I thought was pretty crazy. So after Marvel had it went to Master Universe, and He-Man went to Image and went to Dark Horse, a few different titles here and there. And then DC bought the rights back in 2012. And he's been in the DC property ever since then. He's had quite a few crossovers. I mean, we've read some of them recently. You have Thundercats and He-Man. We have the Injustice versus Master of the Universe, as well as I know Joe's still reading it. I dropped off on that. I thought I had it here, a picture of it here, but that's Masters of the Multiverse, where we're taking all the characters from all previous He-Man incarnations, from the movie, from the cartoon, from the there was something else in there too, but all of them are in there in that multiverse.
From
And
the movie, from
story
every,
in yet, Joe? Is that still going or is that in?
it's almost done. The last issue was supposed to come out next week. So.
Oh, really? So yeah, so the comics are still going. There still is a fan base for it. I mean, they're not. He-Man's definitely not as in the forefront as a lot of other stuff, but I think everything 80s lately is definitely making a resurgence into everything. You know, a lot of 80s inspired shows like Stranger Things and like that. You know, definitely going back to the 80s. Of course, after the comics, not after the comics, but tons of media and cartoons and movies and stuff that was out there, just like this one right here.
By the power of Grayskull.
Of course, there you go. That's from the 1983 series. My notes. There it is. It premiered in 1983 to 84. Had only 2 seasons, but each season had 65 episodes. So you're looking at 130 episodes total for that. The gentleman who voiced He-Man and Prince Adam is named John Irwin, born in 1936. Looks like he's still alive, according to Internet Movie Database.
Wow.
He's mostly known, I would think, for He-Man. He did a lot of stuff in the 60s, Rawhide. Definitely looks like a Rawhide kind of picture right there. But definitely a lot of stuff in the 60s. But I think his most famous role is probably running as voicing He-Man in She-Ra and stuff like that. And, of course, in Alan Oppenheimer, I think Mike just met recently and had him sign a couple Funkos for you.
Yeah, I could show you if you let me flip the phone here.
He was born in 1930. And of course, he's still alive because Mike just met him recently. He's done a lot of other voice acting, including Smurfs and DuckTales and a lot of other stuff. So he's been really busy with stuff. He's actually voicing Mossman in a Master Universe cartoon that's coming out pretty soon. There he is right there. There's a picture of Mike and Alan right there.
Also, another great voice actor that was in that series was Lou Schwimmer. He played a lot of the oddball characters. He also did Transformers, G.I. Joe, and stuff like that, too. You also had Christopher Judge. He was in there as well. Again, these are guys that, I mean, from everything from, I don't know, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Transformers, Mask. Like, these were just voice actors that just popped up all these different things.
Yeah, I definitely remember watching the I have G.I. Joe stuck in my head. He-Man cartoons as a kid. You know, something about the movement and the animations. I saw my wife about it last night. I was watching the episode. Their movements almost seemed a little bit realistic. I don't know if anybody caught that kind of like when He-Man's running. It almost seemed like it's a little bit motion captured.
I don't know. It just seemed like their shoulders always had to move whenever their body was moving.
Is that what's
over dramatic?
But the cartoon itself, what was that?
Double S is in the house. He says, "What up, Huey, Joey, Mike, Michael, Head Jeremy?" The song Power Jam named the song after.
Man, there's so many episodes that I watched throughout the time as a kid, and it's hard to think about any one of them that really stands out in my memory. But, you know, just like with He-Man, he had the PSAs at the end of each episode.
Do you know why they had to do that, or why they did the PSA after cartoons?
Maybe because of the violence. They want to make sure kids were okay.
No, it's actually kind of funny because they had to do it for G.I. Joe. They had to do it for He-Man. They had to do it for Starhawks. They had to do it for Mask. Those 4 ones right there, because they all featured guns and shooting at people. So as a negotiation in the contract to air them on television, some parent association said, well, that's fine, but they can't actually shoot anybody, and you have to do something good at the end, because if you don't, we'll protest you. It literally happened.
Do you have a favorite memory of the cartoon show, Jeremy? Or Trintor?
Man, I don't really remember much of it. I just remember it being my favorite, and I used to love it. And I used to pretend we had a big dog, and back then I was a lot smaller of a child. Like up until the age of like 7 or 8, I was actually like really skinny, believe it or not. And we had this huge dog, and his name was Ferocious. So I would always pretend he was Battle Cat, and I was Prince Adam. Because I was blonde when I was a blonde and had blue eyes, and I don't know, I just loved He-Man, and I would always pretend. The dog was a great dog because he would let me ride him. It's fun memories.
I've ridden a couple dogs in my life.
This would be a good time to remind our audience this is not kid friendly. But I mean, you could take it however you want, unless a little double entendre there.
A lot of big dogs, you know what I'm saying? I had a big dog too.
What about you, Mike? Any memories from
one episode that really stands out? It's one of the first 5 episodes. I forgot which one. It's when Skeletor, my favorite character, and by the way, Alan Oppenheimer, he also voiced Merman and Man-at-Arms too.
Yeah, there's a lot of voices there too. Yeah,
where Skeletor summons all his evildoers like Evil Lyn and Beastman. It's one of the first episodes, and that episode always stuck out to me because I got to see these characters for the first. I'm all about the villains when it comes to these cartoons. So, Trapjaw, remember Trapjaw, Triclops. He summoned them all to his Snake Mountain.
We have a tractor at work, and every time I use it, and we have the bucket that opens, clamp. I always take a Trapjaw every single time because it has the teeth on there, just like that too. I always take a Trapjaw. What about you, Joe? Any memorable episodes or anything you remember from the cartoon?
Surprisingly, I remember a lot of the episodes, but the one that probably sticks out the most is the one where Man-a-Face. It was confirmed that Man-a-Face, whenever he could change his face, he would take on the abilities of that face. So I remember the episode where he built Robotor because he was the robot face. But what stuck out to me the most is the one where he turned his face to the monster, and the moment he could turn his face to the monster, Beastman could then control him.
Huh.
Yeah.
He controlled him and made him do bad things in it. And I was like, I don't know why. I just thought that was ingenious. I still do.
So we were talking about the PSAs earlier.
Everybody likes to play games, but when they do, it's natural to try and win. But some people try so hard to win that they forget about safety. They get excited, lose their tempers, and then run the risk of hurting themselves or someone else by playing too rough. No game is worth an injury. When you play, don't be so anxious to win that you'll do something which you'll regret later on. Play it safe.
Whatever. If you can't beat them, bleed them.
I do have. I'm wondering if he had that PSA because he lost his nipples in some kind of weird accident. Because He-Man has no nipples, so
he lost his nipples riding the dogs.
He might have. What do you got there, Mike? Talk about Snake Mountain. I know Double S was asking about Snake Mountain. So that series ran for only a couple years, like I said before, and then 1985, 2 cartoon movies came out that include He-Man's sister She-Ra. One was Secret of the Sword, and one was He-Man and She-Ra, a Christmas special. The Christmas special can be found on YouTube incomplete, so if you want to go check that out, definitely go over and do that. So that same year, She-Ra, Princess of Power released, and it had 2 seasons as well. Season 1 had 65 episodes. Season 2 had 28. And this show brought on a whole bunch of new villains, new characters to the Master of the Universe, including the Evil Horde and stuff we talked about earlier that were part of that Toyland like series 5 or 6 that came out.
It's a better story. I'm telling you.
Melanie,
a better story, but it definitely had better villains in it. Like I didn't much care for the heroes in She-Ra. It was like,
Bo, you didn't like Bo?
God, Bo.
So this is Melinda Britt. She was the voice of She-Ra, born in 1943, and she voiced all She-Ra's episodes for whatever. I mean, it was all through the whole Master Universe stuff, and I think even a couple years after that, continue on with voice acting as well. Of course, in 1987 came the live action movie, which was almost, I think, too late, really, because all the fans that were enjoying He-Man and Master Universe as a kid were kind of getting to the teenage years and kind of out of the Master Universe, and I don't think it hit.
You will no longer stand between me and my destiny.
But I will.
So, of course, Dolph Lundgren, that was one of his first English-speaking roles. I guess they gave him 5 opportunities to try to get his acting done correctly. If not, they're going to do a voiceover. So he was able actually to get it and actually used his voice. And then we had Frank Langella as Skeletor. I always thought he looked like oh God, I had his name in my head. Who?
William Sadler?
No, he played old guy. He did Ripley's Believe It or Not TV show for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, and he was in City Slickers too.
City Slickers, yeah. I had his name. What's that?
Jack Palance.
Jack Palance, yeah. I always thought he looked like Jack Palance.
Good one.
Mighty LJ says she has the power. Is this true?
That's the secret for me to know.
Okay.
Real quick, Double S also asks, I can't remember. Did the movie come out before the cartoon? Depends on which cartoon you talk about, but the original cartoon, no.
No. The original cartoon came out in 83. This movie came out in 87. And also had a young Courtney Cox in there as well.
Yeah. She loved it.
Careful, you're going to get me in trouble. Mighty LJ's in the chat.
She loves peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I think if I ever done another Comic Con,
This is Dave right here.
I had the power. I did. So a lot of that movie took place in Earth rather than Eternia, which I think kind of pulled everybody out of the whole story of He-Man.
Well, the movie was garbage because people that went to watch it, they wanted to see characters from there, right? So you had Tila, you had Skeletor, you had He-Man, and then you had this weird magical flute thing, and then you had a bunch of other BS, and it just didn't make any sense. Like, instead of that stupid gnome-looking thing,
Evil Lynn was in there too.
Like, everybody wanted to see Orko. No Orko.
No Battle Cat or Cringer either.
Nope. No.
Gwildor took the place of Orko.
Yeah.
Okra.
No, not Oprah. On your seats. Oh no, Jeremy's going to bring out the little sub for you and a sub for you. The good big old throwback to early days of Blast It or Stash It. People did praise Frank Langella's Skeletor, though. They said it was really good. When I watched it tonight, he looked a lot into the camera. I thought that was a bit much and kind of cheesy. It was really hard to do. But I know he took the role because his kids were big He-Man fans, so that's why he did take it.
The reason Ben Affleck took Batman.
And of course, it did have an after credit scene, hinting that it would be a follow-up to that. But it had a budget of $22 million when it first came out. It only grossed $17 million. So it was shy of meeting its budget. I was going to ask. No, we went through that. And then after that, so it was 3 years before we saw anything else in He-Man, and that was the New Adventures of He-Man, which essentially takes place 10,000 years into the future. Did anybody watch that one at all?
That's the one they referenced in the comic book, and I couldn't. Like, I remember reading the latest run of the multiverse, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I could have sworn there was something with them in space or something like that. And I found it, and people were saying I was crazy, but no, it was based off of that.
Right here we go.
My name is Adam of Grayskull. When good is threatened by the power of Eternia, future by the last of mankind to defend them in their hour of need.
So bad.
Nobody wanted that
So
shit.
bad.
That was one season. It actually had 65 episodes for that one season.
That's a lot of episodes for a season. Holy crap.
It definitely is. I mean, it seemed like that is kind of part of course for the cartoons, because each one of them had about 65 episodes per season.
Yeah, but that was so bad.
By that point, I was already on to, I think Batman, the animated series was out, so I was into that. Maybe I might have been a little early for that, but I'd already moved on, kind of past at that point. In 2002, which is another 12 years later, they had the TV movie He-Man and Master Universe at the beginning, and then Masters of the Universe versus the Snake Men, which season 1 was 26 episodes, season 2 was 13 episodes, and that is...
I am Adam, Prince of Eternia, defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous. By the power of Grayskull!
I have the
All right, so interesting fact about that one that I researched. Normally, like characters like Ram Man, the rule was not to make anybody taller naturally than He-Man. And that particular run of the cartoon, they actually made Ram Man the tallest and biggest one out of all of them, because it just made more sense.
So that's what this series did. It held true to the roots, but made the characters more believable. They changed them up from, the earlier cartoons, but just enough to make them more, I don't know, realistic.
Relatable.
Yeah, I mean, so.
They were saying, too, when I was reading that the original He-Man, so Prince Adam, when he turns into He-Man, it's almost like a Shazam thing. He's a younger, smaller kid that turns into He-Man. But because they're trying to save money in that first He-Man run in 1983, they essentially use the same body to try to just save time. So you're saying
point something else out. If you go back and rewatch that last comics intro, it reminds you so much of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they're when they're showing each character and they're doing their nunchucks. And
I like the interruption, because anybody that knows He-Man knows the saying, and I love how it's just interrupted with the bad guys coming in. That was awesome.
So, for example, like the character Spydor, in the original versions of him, he had a grappling hook that came out of his back. In the 2002 version, they actually gave him spider legs. So stuff like that.
That intro reminded me a lot of Thundercats too, just the quick movements and the action, just like that.
It reminded me of Silverhawks. I know that's like the 8th time I said Silverhawks, but it reminds me of that too, with them flying, quick flashes across the screen, action. Like, it was really cool.
So I never watched that at all either. I didn't even know it was a thing until doing research for this show here. Same with New Adventures. I didn't know that was a thing either. So, and then
there's actually a toy line for that 2002 version.
Yeah, I knew there was a toy line that came out. I never noticed them in stores. Never really looked for them. And I'll wait for Joe to get back, because this next one's pretty funny. So I said I went to Internet Movie Database, typed in Master Universe, trying to find shows, trying to find He-Man, and then I came across this video. It's a movie short. It's on YouTube, and you can watch the whole thing. It's 39 minutes long. It's called The Fall of Grayskull, and it has. And now I know, Mike, you're a wrestling fan. I don't know, Jeremy, you still watching wrestling?
Negatory Ghost Rider, the Pattern of Swoon.
Do you know who Brian Case is from TNA Impact Wrestling?
He might have wrestled in an with another name. Do you know? I'm not familiar with his TNA.
So Brian Case was the one who played He-Man in this 39-minute short. I said you can go on YouTube to search Fall of Grayskull and you can watch the whole thing. When I talked about it in the off-air, it reminded me of a porno. It was that horribly acted. It was that horribly green screen. And I swear
Whatever, man. I like the acting in a porn. Women always seem like they're enjoying themselves.
So,
It just seems that way.
So here's I watched the whole thing. I took a few little clips of it together and kind of pointed some highlights out. So here we go. This is that clip here for Fall of Grayskull.
What's the matter, Muscle Man? Feeling weak?
You're a fool, Skeletor.
Such brave talk for someone so defeated.
Mother, I wish you were here.
He-Man, you're alive.
So if you want to go watch that, you could definitely go check that out on YouTube. It's only 39 minutes long. It has some weird stuff in there. But Mike, you have your hand raised. You're waiting ever so patiently.
I am definitely watching that.
I am watching that. Holy crap. Old Tila there's got it going.
Yeah, so there's some pretty horrible acting in there. Evil Lynn's in there. There's a ghost spirit lady that's on the good side. I forgot her name. She's in there as well. Wearing like a purple robe, a hooded robe. Do you remember a character from? No? It might have came from a different series or something.
Sorceress?
Huh?
Was it the Sorceress?
No, it wasn't the Sorceress.
She usually had a robe on in the cartoon.
No, she had like glowing eyes and everything like that too, and like a really kind of ghostly voice. So it wasn't her. They say her name in there, and she speaks a different language, but I forgot what her name was. Yeah, you can definitely go check out that. And that's the last what's been released of what I could find of cartoons and TV and stuff. But we do have some future stuff coming out. We have somebody in comments saying something. What?
No, me and Double S are connected.
Gotcha. I just saw it there. So there's some new stuff coming out. Of course, probably on hold because of Corona.
When this Corona shit ends, me and Joey are going to drive up.
We lost your audio there, Mike.
He's saying words. We're going where?
We're going to pick up Double S and take him out.
Isn't he like in Texas? He's in Texas, I think. Screw it. Yeah. We've been to Texas. I like Texas.
So in 2020, we have a couple of new things coming out. We have a live action movie starring Noah Centineo. And I don't know if he's playing a Prince Adam, if they're kind of keeping it like a... What's that?
That's been shelved.
This guy here.
Yeah. It's not coming out anymore.
Oh, it's not coming out anymore?
No. Well, it's been shelved for right now.
Yeah, I saw it in Internet Movie Database. And so...
It was having problems before Corona even came along. It's been in development limbo for like years and years and years.
Yeah, even on the Wiki page for it, it keeps mentioning all these characters would be in it, but if you read it all the way down to the bottom, it says it's been shelved for right now.
Okay, I didn't see that. I just saw it was in production, or they were thinking about it. And this guy was cast as He-Man, and I'm like, he doesn't look like He-Man.
Not my He-Man.
Maybe a Prince Adam. They give him a blonde wig and stuff. And so take care of him. And so another thing I'm super excited about, there is a cartoon miniseries coming out called Master Universe Revelation that's coming out on Netflix. It is I thought I wrote how many episodes are supposed to be down here, but I don't see the episodes. So here is we lost Jeremy. Where'd he go?
What'd you do? Piss him off?
There he is. There's Jeremy. He's back. So there's movie poster right there, Master Universe Revelation. That's poster 1, and this is poster number 2. It's going to have people like Dietrich Bader. He's playing Trapjaw. We have Kevin Conroy as Merman, Mark Hamill as Skeletor, Justin Long, Jason Mewes, Oppenheimer,
and Skeletor after his Joker. Yeah, that makes sense. I like that.
Oppenheimer's coming back to play Moss Man. We have Sarah Michelle Gellar. We have Lena Headey from Game of Thrones. So it is a star-studded cast that's supposed to be out. That's an animated movie or animated miniseries due to be released on Netflix. So I'm really excited about that. I'm hoping to be able to check that out.
Real quick, in the chat, we got me and Double S talking about some of our other watching series. Common Core jumped in the room. He will say hi to Trinity. He will say hi to Grandpa. Oh man, the doctor and Double S recognizes him, and they recognize each other. I just saw things. I didn't read them. Sorry.
Yeah, what happened was I'm not signed in, so I can't comment and back to people. So I tried to log in. It took me away from it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I had 2 screens up.
So that is all of the media, TV shows and stuff I got. And that's kind of wraps up all the Master Universe stuff that I have in a neat little bow. If somebody else wants to add a few more things on there, I'm more than happy to. Joe, you're grabbing some notes. You got a couple more things to add there?
I always got a couple of notes. It's what I do. So Ram Man has actually been the subject of 3 different psychological papers, believe it or not, that have been peer-reviewed for doctoral degrees.
Really?
Yes. So even with his and the headings are usually the same, and this is how they're generally summed up: poor verbal skills, afraid of the dark, which was correct to the character, naive and gullible, but extremely loyal and self-sacrificing. Often finds himself in trouble with new people. He's not very trusting, in other words. That's just a fancy way of saying that. Trapjaw, of course, was a weapons expert. Triclops was originally supposed to be an interdimensional bounty hunter. And then they kind of changed that up at the last minute and just made him a bad guy. Typically seen with X-ray vision, night vision, telescopic vision, and can shoot lasers out of one of his eyes, but not all of them. That was weird. Zodiac, as I mentioned before, was originally supposed to be a villain. However, given his circumstances, it was easier to make him a neutral party in the universe, being an cosmic enforcer, later bringing in a villain to combat him. Whiplash. There was actually a fist fight that broke out about Whiplash and his character. In the creators' room, they got into an argument and a heated discussion, and fists started flying when they couldn't decide if he should have been more like an alligator or more like a crocodile. I'll let you figure that one out.
Okay.
As we mentioned before, Man E-Faces. Original backstory was he was an actor and a master of disguises, but after suffering a horrendous accident, Man-at-Arms had to mount that on him, giving him several faces, also able to take up the ability of the faces. Stratos is actually a king. I don't know if anybody knew that. He's a king.
Oh, is he?
He's actually the ruler of a air country in the mountains of Stratosis.
He's the one Metallica wrote the song King Nothing about.
Yeah, bird people of Avon. Go figure that one. Evil Liv's character, sexy warrior witch, was the original concept, but when designing her character, they wanted an Elvira / Baroness feel to her. So they made her yellow. Mananek was absolutely and completely a joke in the creators' room.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you mean intentional?
Buzz-Off was supposed to be a villain. That's why he had claws to begin with. Later renditions actually gave him hands. But, however, he is subservient to a queen who often takes him away from various missions out of jealousy to find her honey. And that was actually mentioned in his backstory comic book.
Huh.
Also, the first appearance of our superheroes in DC was DC Comics Presents number 47. It's the first appearance of He-Man in DC Comics and the first appearance of Skeletor, and they actually battle Spider-Man. And this was in... Wait, I just lost it.
Also, fun fact, if you look at the cover for that DC Presents 47, He-Man is saying, as long as I'm controlled by Skeletor, I have to attack He-Man, and I
Right. There's one of those stories, and that came out in 1982.
So Superman is kind of scared that He-Man is going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So that just goes to show you how powerful old Adam is. Well, not Adam.
You're talking about Ramban being the subject of many papers. I was thinking it might have been one about concussions or something. You know,
Actually, the determination ultimately, it wasn't a medical paper. It was two psychological papers, just talking about his personalities. There was mentions of head trauma that caused these things, especially a suspicion of new people wanting to join. Because when Buzz Off joined the Heroic Warriors, which is kind of like Eternia's elite team of our classic characters, his suspicion of them was a little bit out of the ordinary. And it actually referenced the comic book. And I looked at the comic book and read it, and I was like, yeah, why has he got a problem with Buzz Off? Like, he's just randomly making shit up about the guy. It was weird.
Mike, yeah, anything you want to add to Master of the Universe, He-Man?
Oh, sure. We'll add a little Funko spice into this shit. Last year, Funko lost the license to Masters of the Universe, and the last one that was produced was actually Buzz Off. Joey remembers me getting him.
I do too. You got him at C2E2, didn't you?
C2E2, yeah. I got him there. Paid about $80 for him.
Yeah,
well,
you did.
They reacquired the license recently, and we got a bunch of new ones coming out. Webster's, they're making a Webster Clawful.
Does he come with his step parents?
Maybe.
It'd be cool if his dead parents were there in a coffin behind him.
Wow. Too soon, Joe.
And here's one of the more recent ones I picked up. Does anybody know why he's green?
He's covered in slime.
Yes. From what?
I don't know. What was this? I don't remember.
There was that toy that came with the slime.
Oh yeah, it dropped. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're gonna get more Masters of the Universe pops. What else can I tell you? This book is basically an encyclopedia of all the characters, vehicles, blah blah blah. They make another book like this. I was telling you guys earlier that collects all those mini comics from the action figures, also the newspaper strips. There was a newspaper strip, and this was $50. But it's big.
I'll give you
a big hefty book I like to ride. I mean,
It's a comic strip and a newspaper called Prince Valiant. He had the same haircut. I'm joking, Mike. You don't know who Prince Valiant is from the comic strips?
Oh, look.
No.
Roboto.
Nope.
Okay, Jeremy, how about you? Any last minute things about He-Man Master Universe you want to talk about?
No. I don't really remember.
Thanks for showing up, Jeremy.
I don't really remember like any much about the toys. I mean, I remember having them, but I don't remember a lot of stuff. You know, like seeing some of those actually brought some of those memories back, like the one that had the sparks into the wheel. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure I have more of them that I just don't remember because it's been so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
But and I actually now that you told me they're on Stars, the whole series, the Masters of the Universe, I'm probably going to go back and rewatch those. I remember going to the movie theater as a kid and seeing the movie, and I was really mad because there was no Cringer or Battle Cat and there was no Orko, and I was like, "What is this crap? Where's But then Wildor started eating Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I was like, okay.
I have one last request.
I'm sorry. Did I cut you off, Mike?
No.
Okay.
Do you want to?
No, go ahead, Mike.
Jeremy's got to take us out with the Skeletor voice.
He-Man, you fool! Remember, kids.
Yeah, I only have one Master of the Universe pop, and that's Moss Man. The same one that I picked up for you, Mike, and sent you.
Yeah.
The what do they call it when they're fuzzy?
Flocked.
Flocked, yes, the flocked ones.
Flock out of here.
Get the flock. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. If this is something you like, us talking about the 80s toys, do you have a toy you want us to talk about? Would it be Thundercats? Would it be Mask? Would it be Transformers? Definitely let us know in the comments below or in the live chat, or send us out on Facebook or whatever that. Mike, you have your hand up.
I have some toys we can talk about.
What toys you? Oh, no. That's a different. That's 18 and over show. Jeremy, you had your hand up there.
I do. Not about toys though. Maybe we could do an episode talking about cartoons.
Just 80s cartoons.
80s or 90s cartoons. Just our favorite cartoons.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome too. What about you, Joe? Any other ideas for
Carol fucking Baskin?
I'm never going to recover from this financial.
You were going to add that in there somewhere, and I was trying to figure out where you were going to add that in. Again, too, you can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. We're on all of those. I've been trying to post more videos updating when we're going to go live, what we're talking about. And during this time when we're not getting the comics, we're definitely going to be focusing more on the 80s stuff we loved when we were growing up. And it might be something that's a little more regular, too. When comics come back, maybe we'll do like a once-a-month episode reflecting back on something we loved. But I definitely like this because it gives me a chance to go back and do a whole bunch of research on this stuff. How many episodes did they have? How long did it last? Was it, did people like it? Was it a flop? All that stuff is fun, and I enjoy doing it.
Kind of like sex.
Kind of like sex? Yeah, most of the time it's a flop, though, for you, isn't it? Until you get that little blue pill.
What's this? Why, you need some?
No. So we are going to go ahead and get out of here. Remember, with your Blasted or Stash, you happy reading, and we're going to leave you with a 30-second clip of Skeletor just laughing as we're bounce out of here. So thanks, Mike. Thanks, Jeremy, for jumping on tonight. It's been fun to have you guys back on and chit-chatting about stuff when we were kids, even though Mike tends to turn the show into about his penis. I don't know what that is. But
not once I mentioned my penis in this.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Before we get out of here, I'd just like to tell everybody about an experience I had. I saw a tiger, and a tiger saw me.
Was it Cringer?
It was. It was bad.
All right, later, guys.
Later, guys.